Welcome back to The Big Thing, everybody. It's Thursday, and you saw it. The question is out. Dune, will it make $1 billion? That's the question. And why would you even ask that question, considering that I didn't think it was going to happen? The hype is just so real on this movie. Can it happen in a pretty busy March? It's not even summertime season yet. People are in school. It's a 3-hour film. Can it happen? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some TV today. Shogun is really making its way, making its rounds, but it hasn't made the Roxy rounds. I don't think that's one of the shows she's going to be covering yet. It's because she hasn't seen it. But she has other things we're going to talk about and other things in the world of TV, and we'll find out if that guy called her yet. Did the guy call her back? We're going to find that out and more. Brett saw a brand new documentary on Hulu that he's very excited to tell people about, so that's also going to be fun. And I think that's a majority of it, man. So hit that button right there. Subscribe to the channel. Why? Because you'll get us closer to 200,000. We are currently at around 131,000. And we can get to 200 if you click that button. If you're a fan of the UAP show, well, then you're going to be a fan of the fact that we're launching a new channel, UAP News. And that's going to be daily, Roxy had no idea, 5 or 10 minutes long every day. And you guys can join. And it's called Down to Earth with Kristian Harloff. And it's on. You can get it right now. You can get it right now. There's no stuff on there yet, but it's coming up. So that and more on today's show, everybody. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. Fleetle Deedle and the Sheetle Teats coming in hot. Here we go. One of these days I'll hit the right button. No, I won't. What? You ever have mutton chops? What are mutton chops? No one knows. Go eat a dick. All right, here we go. Everybody. Into the microphone. Me. Roxy. Brett. Us. What do you got the stink face for?
I don't like being the last to know about anything.
Well, Brett didn't know about it either, I don't think.
I don't know any of that.
Yeah, you didn't know about the channel,
Are you
did you?
imitating me?
No. It was just very. My daughter's like that now.
Oh, does she do that now?
Yeah. She just got braces.
Oh no, how'd that go?
That means
I don't know.
nobody.
I said, oh no. It's
I
a
don't
good
see
thing.
you enough anymore for you to dick on me.
Yeah, what's going on here,
If
people?
you're gonna dick on me, you gotta see me all the time.
Yeah.
I don't like the way I phrase it.
I was gonna say I don't think "dick on me" is a good, especially after last week's episode.
You know what I meant, though, right? Like that's
I
the
know what you
expression.
meant.
Yeah.
Don't be a
Don't be a
dick.
dick.
Put my dick on.
Oh, he was dicking.
You know
was
what's hilarious?
dicking on
I can't
me.
do that because I haven't seen you.
No, you know what's hilarious is that last week, for the majority, people thought it was the funniest moment ever.
I didn't actually look at the comments.
For the people were there was one comment though, just like, I don't think it's that funny. That's harassment in the workplace. I'm like,
I was harassing
I'm like,
him or
no,
who?
we were by goofing around. It's like
Harassing me?
It's like yeah, it's like Roxy like was like laughing and going for it and going with the joke, and it's like this is the problem with
They
today.
thought you two were harassing me.
At first, I was just like, well, this is
I
your
can
boss.
confirm. I'm very harassed by Can confirm. I've
confirm.
been meaning to talk to you guys
Yeah, I
all
know,
week
right?
about.
Make a public thing right here.
It,
But
kind
it's
of,
just-
it felt like an Austin Powers moment.
It was an
honestly,
awesome
you know?
person, and it was like if you ever had a big brother, little sister moment, it was right in that moment. It was like it was just kind of the teasing. What are you doing? What are you doing?
And there's nothing I could have done that didn't
No.
make it look sexual. The more I tried
It
to
was
not,
hilarious.
the more-
It was hilarious.
What you didn't do is grab the back of my head.
right? And then, but it's one thing if Roxy was like, guys,
Guys, it's not funny.
that's not funny, and and it wouldn't even made the air.
No.
And I'm like, that's the
Yeah,
problem.
that's a good point. It wasn't live.
No, it wasn't live, and that's the problem with like today. It's everyone's just like if she doesn't say I'm offended, and this, it's like everybody like this is the problem with today. Everyone gets offended by everything, and it's like you can't even joke anymore. And I don't know. We don't get the whole thing with like the Shane Gillis Saturday Night Live, right? Did you guys?
Yeah.
So
What did you think of the opening monologue?
I didn't watch the whole monologue, but I watched some of the sketches. I still have the thing. I haven't watched the monologue yet, but the sketches I thought were funny.
I have thoughts.
Okay, but
You want to talk about it?
you can talk about it, but
You
sure.
want to talk about it? Let's talk about it.
But my thing is that whether or not you and we've had this conversation on Collider Live a billion times. My thing is that you're allowed to be offended of whatever you want to be offended by. Comedians, to me, are allowed to take shots and are allowed to joke and like I know I don't share the same views with everybody, and I think that you also have to realize as a comedian that you're going to take swings that if you're lucky a majority of people is going to think funny because you're never going to get everyone.
Yeah.
But if you're lucky, you're going to get a majority. So that way the majority's like, oh, be quiet to the ones who don't think it's funny. But when it's really not funny and the majority thinks you're not funny, well, then you're telling jokes that just aren't working.
Let's just talk about it for a second. Well, two things. Number one about this situation. What were you guys supposed to do when I got under the table?
When the camera went there.
When the camera went there. Were you guys supposed to panic and go,
or not air it?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, right.
To make it look like something actually nefarious was happening? Like, what were your guys' options?
I think it was more or less like just kind of, it's like, oh, Roxy's trying to like laugh or not even bring attention to it. It's like, we're fucking comedians.
But it looked like, we all saw what it looked like, so you're not supposed to.
You did too. You went with it more than anything. That's what drove me nuts. And I'm like, but it was it was one comment.
Right, I know, but I'm curious those people who, because there's always a comment, 2 comments, 3 comments. What were you supposed to do? Mm-hmm. What would made them happy?
Not laugh, not say anything about it, not go in that direction. It's just like, well, we did. And we did go in that direction because it was funny and it looked.
Yeah, it's just weird.
If you go back, it looks really bad and it's hilarious.
I think it would have looked worse if you guys had been like, it's fine. Everything she's doing is fine. It's okay.
Or just not acknowledged it. It's like I would have gotten shit from comedian
weren't
friends.
You kind of doing that, like trying to get that last inch to grab it too? So you were kind of
like jerking forward.
Yeah,
it's because my cord was tangled.
That's right.
I was trying to yank.
But you started losing it, laughing your ass off
because I saw and I knew exactly what was happening, but I wasn't going to give up,
right?
Because I don't quit.
Right.
Yeah,
and you can't start a job you don't finish. I needed to.
How dare you bring that back?
Yeah.
How dare you? You trying to get us in trouble? You're trying to get us in trouble?
So that I don't understand what people are expecting, but okay, or with that person.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the Shane Gillis situation, is that how you say his name?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because I obviously remember about him being fired and the whole situation that took place or whatever. I thought it was pretty cool that he was going back because people grow and situations change and opinions, whatever. It's the same way that I thought it was cool, whatever. What it was, a gun who got rehired by. Right. Yeah. Like, sometimes things happen. So I thought it was cool. I watched the opening monologue. I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I had no idea how unfunny the rest of the world thought it was at first.
Oh, really?
Because I watched it without looking at anybody's response to it. I just watched it live.
I saw a lot of people say the opposite. I think it's a battle again.
But it was ballsy, and he's definitely not a PC comic at all.
Right.
Neither is Bill Burr, who's one of my favorites. He kind of reminds me of Bill Burr sometimes, but I don't know this guy's comedy well enough to know where his heart is. I just know that I thought that some of the jokes were really risky and very funny.
It didn't so my thing is when he got fired for his joke, and I think there's a lot of jokes that they told on a podcast a while ago. There are a lot of jokes that people tell, whether it's comedians at a club.
Well, he used a slur.
Right.
And that's not funny.
But hanging out with a bunch of comedians and stuff too, right? But I'm just saying, hanging out with a bunch of comedians and people, and we all know, and not even comedians, you've been home back with friends and people tell jokes that are off color and things too. And, there are certain people that tell the jokes and they're telling funny jokes and you go, it was funny. You probably couldn't get away with that on a stage or whatever too. And it's like, and it's also, you say, but the question is there hate in the person's heart when they're telling it? I don't know. I don't believe that there is. But the other question I had when I was talking, I think I was talking to somebody off air about this with him. Let me ask you, and I don't know the answer to it, and maybe people will answer in the comments. What's the difference between him and Eminem in like 2000 with the stuff that Eminem would say in his songs? Like, because he would talk about anti-gay stuff. He talk about anti-women.
Is your point that the difference is that it was 2000?
I'm just asking what's the difference. I'm saying
it's why Gen Z hates Eminem. I mean,
they hate him.
They've destroyed him.
Oh, really?
They've destroyed him.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Like every lyric, everything he said about Kim, like have shredded
really?
him, completely destroyed him.
Okay.
There was like a huge online debate between Gen Z and millennials because to me, Eminem is the greatest rapper alive. I know that takes all of my credibility away from me. Everybody says that makes me so uncool. I love him.
I heard a lot of people say that.
I think he is just truly amazing.
I probably put Jay-Z there first, but then he's right there.
Jay-Z's awesome too. Yeah. For me, it was always Eminem and Kanye West. Kanye's done some things in the recent history that have made me not want to listen to his music as much. But
like what?
You spit out your bubbly, man. How are we going to get them to sponsor us when you spit them out? It's like making gargling noises still in your throat. You good?
I hadn't heard.
He said he was a fan of Hitler.
Oh, he did. Oh.
Yeah, he wanted to name his album Hitler. He did a lot of stuff to a lot of people. You want me to keep going? I could keep going. But okay.
So Kanye's no good anymore.
They've been adding him to a lot of festival lineups, actually.
He's just, I got him.
He wrote a apology in Hebrew, though.
Oh, well, that makes up for it. He's back, baby. Kanye's back, folks. Apology in Hebrew.
Yeah.
That's like even more offensive than just writing an apology and not in Hebrew.
Yeah, most Jews couldn't read it. So
gibberish?
Yeah.
Was it even actually?
No, it was Hebrew.
It actually was?
He had somebody obviously translate
it for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I love Eminem, but Gen Z
hates him, huh?
Has tried to cancel over and over. And obviously, I'm speaking generalization here, but they hate him.
Right.
So I would say that they would say there is no difference.
Oh, okay.
But for me, I also believe there is no difference because I thought that it was funny and I like it.
I know. Maybe that's what. Maybe you summed it up though. Maybe you really just summed it up. Is that it's just a generational thing?
Yeah.
Right. Because when it comes to certain, like, I also come from the comedy background. Like, we've been in comedy clubs, you and I, through when we met, that people said way worse stuff than what this guy's been saying. Like,
it was almost like you were trying to get the comedians in the back of the room to laugh 100%. More than the audience.
Dude, the comedy store when I was like, when it was in like 2002, 2004, there were some people that would say, I told you this again, I saw a guy get blown on stage. I saw a guy get blown on stage. Like, I haven't told you this story?
What?
Yeah. There was this.
Was it me? Did they drop him?
No. There was this woman who used to be on Howard Stern. She was this older porn star. Her name was Blue Iris.
Oh yeah.
And she would talk like this. She's now passed on, but she was there, and the guy, Scary Perry, the guy who did that movie Windy City Heat, and there was this whole entire freaking.
So Scary Perry's on stage.
Scary Perry was with Don Barris and other things, and I don't know how it happened. But it was after the things were like closing down, and I've told this story before. On
I haven't heard it, so.
So basically, I think it was around 2 a.m, and the club was everybody pretty much the regular audience left, but all the comics were there. And I really don't remember how it happened, but like. She was up there, and the next thing you know, she starts blowing him on stage, and I physically got ill, and I ran into the toilet, and I started like I couldn't, and
Was any of the public there?
I really don't think so. I think it was the majority of just comedians, but I remember at least 30 people in the room, and it was a very different management, different thing, but management even back then would have been like, what the fuck. But
as part of an act,
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
So everyone was on stage, and the next one thing led to another, and that happened. And I ran back, and I was kind of hocking into the toilet, and Dave Taylor, another comedian, who is another guy that was just ruthless on stage, right? But anyway, all I remember is him standing over me, not checking on me, going, puking. Harloff is puking and laughing his fucking ass off. And then the next night, I remember her being in the crowd and me kind of roasting her and getting a lot of laughs out of it. That was a packed audience.
And you said what she did?
In a certain, kind of. And people were like,
well, obviously it wasn't a secret. There was a room full of
but it
people.
was, but it's different hearing it from the night before. And again, 2002, 2003, whenever it was, as opposed to today. And a different generation, because like that, and that's just a really crazy fucking thing. But things that were said in the room, and I remember like just certain things that were said that I don't think people in today's audience would be able to take half the shit that was said back then.
That's like if you have kids, you got to start telling them racist jokes from the beginning so they can, right? No.
You just got
Just
canceled.
from
What do they call it? Generation what?
Generation cancel.
Gen Z.
Gen Z, right?
I don't think. No, we're
It's
not
just
Gen
the
Z.
next letter
I don't think
now.
we're Gen Z anymore.
No, you're not.
No.
No, I'm a millennial.
My daughter was saying something about that she's Gen Alpha or something
It's like 16 to 25 is Gen Z. Or
This is how I
26
know
or
that I'm officially
15.
old grandpa now. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
Gen Z, Gen X, Gen Y. I don't care. It's all
I do.
bullshit. It's all
I care.
bullshit.
The Shane thing. I will say that he says gay and makes like a joke, and then he uses the R word, and it was like, this is interesting that SNL like he was canceled for a slur,
I think
a racial slur.
I think they're trying to push in a different direction now.
And I am curious about it, but I did think it was funny, and then I was informed very quickly by my phone that many people did not think it was funny.
At Saturday Night Live.
Just no. Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, like all the articles started coming in, like
Yeah, but
falls
that's- but that-
flat, and nobody.
of course.
They said it fell. They said it fell flat, or they said that it was to a silent room, and I didn't feel like it was silent. I heard a lot of laughter.
I'm going to watch it because I'll tell you why. Because I don't take any merit when it comes to those publications judging comedians, because it's the same thing. You can predict what they're going to say about the comedian before the comedian even says a word, because that's when the politicized portion of it comes. There is certain things where you're just going to get, well, wait a minute. They said, because even if they thought it was funny, in the same way that there's these freaking hate channels on YouTube that that if they're doing, videos about a certain property months before it comes out, or a movie, that even if they liked it, they're not going to tell you that they like it. They can't.
Yeah.
And I feel it's the same way that, imagine that someone writing for the Hollywood Reporter thought it was hilarious, and all the stuff that he said.
Oh, yeah, they couldn't.
They never
No.
would be able to.
And it also wasn't hilarious.
I'm
it was
just
just
saying,
kind
but
of
imagine
funny.
they thought it.
Yeah, I think we're living. This is not the show fully for this,
Yeah.
so I'll cut it quickly. But we are living in such a fucked up time.
Mm-hmm.
We are just living in such a fucked up time when the internet response to that is like just horrific. He should never work again. We hate him. That was horrible. Right. And then the internet response to some other things that people are doing is like making them martyrs. And I'm just like, I don't understand 2024. Yeah. I don't understand what we're teaching to, like, what is a good thing to do and what's not. I've never felt more out of touch with the world about what is funny, what is not, what is good, what is evil.
I don't pay attention to it. I never pay attention on social media because I don't care what people think. If I think it's funny, and then, I'll tell you what, Shane Gillis is going to make hand over fist on this. It really helped his career out. Yeah. Helped out his career tremendously.
I forgot about him. I haven't.
He's on Rogan all the time. He's on.
Do you know what I found out this week?
Go ahead.
Rogan went to Newton South High School, which is where I went.
That's where you went, huh? Oh, cool. Okay.
I'm not a big Rogan girl, but that was interesting.
Can I ask you who Rogan is?
Rogan?
Yeah.
Al Rogan.
I'm not a big Rogan girl.
Oh.
That's how you say it in Newton.
Al Rogan?
Yeah.
Al Rogan. Okay.
Hey, Rogan.
Yeah, we're talking about Al Rogan, right?
Yeah, John Rogan, Sam Rogan, Billy Rogan.
No, Rogan went to Newton South, as did a lot of different people. B.J. Novak, John Krasinski, Matt LeBlanc went to North, Louis C.K. went to South, which is another. Wow, just Joe Rogan and Louis C.K. going to South is an interesting.
Comedians, two funny comedians.
Yeah, at my public high school.
Yeah. Well, that's the way to start the show. Let's start there. Thoughts? Go ahead. I'm sure we're going to have a blast in the comments on that one. Okay. So, we'll move on in a second. Roxy, did the dude call back?
You know what's so funny? When you were giving the intro, I was
forgot about him?
I was like, what dude? And then, of course he didn't. No, of course he didn't.
Well, of course not. If he said, what dude?
Because that's the mindset I have to have, which is just on to the next.
Right,
Until
next?
somebody wants me and is a good fit for me, I just can't give them any more thought. Like, a lot of my friends are like, why don't you call him? And it's like, I texted on his birthday.
You did enough.
I
agree.
If he wanted me, I'd know. He doesn't.
You're right. That's a mature way to look at it, to be honest with you. The other thing I was going to ask you is, did you watch any of that wrestling?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I was thinking, if you actually got into wrestling, if you did the orange hair, I think you could pull off Becky Lynch.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
Yeah, she's and Becky Lynch had a good Elimination Chamber. You know who did watch it? The Elimination Chamber? My 6-year-old.
Oh, no way.
Watched the whole thing with me. It was amazing. Did I tell you the great line that she did recently? Oh, I haven't told this on air yet. So,
was this in Australia or this is
yeah,
okay?
it was in Australia. So, Elimination Chamber was over last weekend, and my wife and my oldest went away for the night, and I just hung out with my 6-year-old, and we watched Elimination Chamber, and we watched it in intervals because it was like a 4-hour thing.
Yeah, I know.
So we watched it, and then her room was like a big mess. Right? So
After?
No, just in general, it had been messy. She took a lot of her things out. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to help her clean it up because my wife's going to get home soon. And so I just wound up cleaning it up, throwing the Barbies on the side and doing this. And my daughter walks in and she goes, "Whoa, Dad, who cleaned my room?" And I go, "Magic."
Oh.
And she looks around and she goes, "Magic did a pretty bad job." And I started dying laughing.
Did you do a bad job?
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Yeah.
But she said that, and then I said to her, I said, "Maisie, you told me that you were going to do that if I did this or whatever it was." And she goes, "Dad, the past is the past." She said that in the last.
She's like a little philosopher.
The other thing she said to me, which was even more hilarious, I was like, "Honey, you're supposed to put your shoes on. Remember, you've been listening today. It's great." And she goes, "Remember what I told you, Dad?" I go, "What?" She goes, "Never trust a child." That's what she said.
Like, how do you? Because you still have to be a parent in those moments. How do you not just lose it?
It's tough.
I walked to the side. I walked to the side and started laughing because her timing is out of control.
She knows that she's got you.
Easily.
Yeah, she knows.
Easily.
As long as she's making a joke or saying something that will make you laugh, she knows she's got Dad.
Her timing on that with the room of the, I thought she was going to say something like profound.
Yeah.
She's like, "Really, Magic did a bad job." And I was like, that is fucking hilarious.
Do you think she's going to be a comedian?
I think she could be. Her timing's really good. Like, her timing is really good.
How would you feel about it if she decided to be a comedian?
Right now at 6?
No, probably
not. No, I don't know. It's not the like, especially after what we were just talking about.
What is
I don't think comedians are
not in this climate. Back in the day, 6-year-olds could be comedians
and say whatever they want.
Yeah.
What do you do? You put them in improv or whatever? Like, how do you feed a comedian? Like, for me, when I wanted to be an actress, I started taking classes at 3.
You abuse them, right? And a lot of abuse and depression. A lot of comedians come from abuse, I think. Not me. Mine was more depression based. Hey, you know who's speaking of wrestling? I heard John Cena on the Howard Stern program.
How'd that go?
He is just seems like a lovely, lovely man.
He does.
And he is very well spoken and positive.
Also, Massachusetts.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
Mass guy.
Yeah,
see, there you go.
There you go. So there you go. Howard Stern on John Cena. John Cena and Howard Stern. Perfect.
One thing about Massachusetts, if you're from there, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not apparently.
Al Roken.
Yeah.
Al Roken.
Brett, before I move on to our sponsors, will you tell us about that the doc that you watched on Hulu?
Oh yeah, well the cult docs are big right now. I've seen a few of them. I saw that Love Is One. Did you see that one yet? About the one that one's goofy as hell. This one takes it to a whole nother level.
Right.
This one, it's called The Cult of Personality, and it's actually that song. No, that song was based on a real cult.
Yeah.
That was around in the 50s actually, and this was there's not a lot of documentation other than
what's the whipping scene you were telling me about?
That was a part of it. Is one of the rooms they would have, and when you would have to expel whatever demons you had inside of you, they would whip you, and they would whip these people, and like with any documentary about any cult, it was a lot about just sleep deprivation, a lot of drug use, and it was. But
I didn't understand. You told me about this, but they so they took 7 people with hats on and just kicked soccer balls at them. I don't know what that meant.
And it was about bringing out the different the id, the ego, and the super ego. The cult of personality. So that's what they were trying.
And each ball had a letter on it.
Yeah. So they were trying to draw out those personalities.
I see.
What were the possible personalities?
Well, there was the comedian was one of them. They wanted the representation of every kind of a thing. You know, there was
the grocery shopper.
The grocery you shit.
we got as far as we could. That's I think that's how the bit should go. The bit should go until he can't do it anymore.
Have you seen the Love Is One one?
No, what is? I couldn't tell whether that was part of it.
No, that one is real, and it was this woman.
Love is one.
Love has one, and she was the mother god, is what she called herself. And the documentary starts out like you're hooked from the beginning of this thing. I don't want to say what happens at the beginning, but like, so apparently she's like channeling all these spirits. One of the main ones she's channeling is Robin Williams, is one of her deities, and then there's all these other deities, and there's this cult person's like, you can see it's Saint Germain and Robin Williams are two of the top ones, and then everybody on here is dead. Well, except Donald Trump is one of them, one of the deities, which isn't dead, obviously.
She has a mental illness, and she thinks that she says these people are coming through her, or what?
Yeah, they're speaking through her. And this is one thing, Roxy, you wouldn't understand. I'm a cult member. When the mother god, it appears to the normal person that she's taking a nap, but she's actually in a meeting with the deities. They did not hide the fact that these people were taking a lot of acid. And
where do you see this thing?
I think this was Netflix or who. I mean, it's one of the main streaming ones. Love Has Won.
Why is it called Love Has Won?
Like WON.
Yeah.
Love is one. I guess it won.
How did it win?
Well,
we have to watch the show.
And if you want to see people, like we watched it, I think it's 3 or 4 episodes. My wife and I watched it, and it was just people just talking in circles, and you're like, I don't know what. Like, what was she selling to these people? Because they just, and it's just about the feeling of things. And then, if you feel, then you begin to also know what you feel inside. And you're just going like, how did she hook these people? Right. They were obviously... It is
anything that's 3 or 4 episodes I'm willing to watch because I have to pad my numbers.
Yeah. No, it's not that long. It's really...
Most things I watch are so long.
And I'm telling you, I don't want to give away, but the first, minute of this documentary, you're going to see something and you're going to go, oh shit, I need to see what happened during this thing. All right, it's insane.
That one was real. The first one...
Imagine if it wasn't.
And I think there's still people. There's still people.
That's when he's got. That's when he's got to get us. When he both actually.
But then we have to ask him to
searching
leave.
around.
Yeah. All right. So, what do you guys think about all this stuff we talked about so far? Get the comments in there. Thoughts. I love hearing the discussion about everything, and the comments have been pretty great on this channel. Even Roxy says it for the most part. Like, it's not really. No, you don't see a lot of the.
I mean,
hate.
Honestly, I think that the closest thing I talked about this in the stand-up is that the closest thing I get to hate is I used to hate you. But now, now I don't.
I'll tell you what you're not going to hate. You're not going to hate hearing about both AG1 and the Perfect Gene. They are phenomenal. I'm so glad. So many people. I had some people wrote me yesterday talking about how much they loved AG1 and Perfect Gene. And Perfect Gene are very comfortable, and now we got the right code in there. So let me tell you about AG1. Tell you about the Perfect Gene right now. AG1. I love AG1. You guys know I love AG1. I've been talking about AG1. I got Riley now. Riley's on the AG1. He loves it because it is what you need to do. I'm not a vitamins guy. I've never been a big vitamins guy because there's just too many of them. You got to take 75 million in order to be all caught up. Do it all in one shot because taking care of your health, it's not always easy, but it's got to be simple. So you guys know for the last 2 years, I've been drinking it every day. No exceptions. It's easy. It's one scoop. You mix it in water and it makes me feel great. And it gives me all my dose of vitamins. I just dig it. And I completely trust it. And I've been trusting it. So I've been raving about it forever. I know what I'm getting. I'm getting the essential brain, the gut, the immune health support with the vitamins, the probiotics, the nutrients from the whole foods. I think of it as a nutritional insurance because I know I'm covering my bases right from the start of the day. It's so good. I shake it up in a bottle of water. It's awesome. And if it's one product that I would recommend to elevate your health, it is AG1. And that's why I've partnered with them for so long. So take ownership of your health and start with AG1. You got to try AG1. You get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/bigthing. drinkag1.com/bigthing. I love the Perfect Gene. I was so lucky. The other day they had sent me these jeans and I put them on and man, they are comfortable. They are really, really comfortable. So if you didn't know about them, the problem is a lot of times you have these kind of rough and rigid jeans. I did, and they crush your nuts. That's what they do. Because if you're wearing oversized jeans, they kind of make you a laughing stock at the office, at the bar. Is your significant other tired of you wearing sweats or khakis because you hate wearing jeans? Well, that's why today's sponsor, The Perfect Jean, finally solved all of your denim difficulties. They make great-looking, perfect-fitting jeans that are comfortable as sweatpants. And the secret? A special denim fabric that's super soft and has the perfect amount of stretch so you can squat, do yoga, or just sit around all day, and you don't want to take them off. They make 6 different fits. They're from skinny to thick, and they have a waist from 26 to 50, lengths from 26 to 38, big boys, short kings, tall dudes, and all the rest. They got you. Now, for a limited time, our listeners are going to get 15% off their first order plus free shipping at theperfectjean.nyc, or you Google The Perfect Jean and use that code BIGTHING15 for 15% off. So I really, for me, I've got to have a comfortable jean. I've really got to, I got to feel like I'm almost, I can move in them, and I don't feel like, I don't know, like scrunched up. And these things they're really, they deliver on what they're promising. They're comfortable. They're stretchy. I can move around. They really fit well. It's great. So it's finally topped. You got to stop crushing your balls, guys. And in those uncomfortable jeans, you go to theperfectjean.nyc, and our listeners are going to have 15% off your first order, free shipping, free returns, free exchanges. You got to use that code BIGTHING15 at checkout. So that's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc with promo code BIGTHING15. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Fuck your khakis and get The Perfect Jean. All right, thank you to our friends over at AG1 and The Perfect Jean. AG1 been with us for a long time, and you know how much I love them. And The Perfect Jean, I'm hoping they're going to be with us for a long time because comfortable, super comfortable. And if you want to help out the show and you have the means to help out the show, I would highly recommend getting yourself some AG1 Perfect Jean. Link is in the description, always pinned up top.
I want.
Okay, which one do you want? Both?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Did I specify? No,
No,
I
you
want.
didn't. You said you want.
I
Okay.
want.
Okay.
Just so anybody who's looking for Brett's show doesn't actually think it's fake. It's not Netflix. It's Max.
Yep.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Which at first I thought I was going to tell you was Cinemax, but no.
Right. Cinnamon.
It's HBO Max because they
You
wanted
ever
to
meet a
make it.
stripper named Cinnamon?
I have.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet. I think that's true.
What is the most common stripper name?
In Waverly, Nebraska, at a place called Shakers.
Is that you remember?
Yeah, her name was Cinnamon.
Oh,
Yeah.
See, hey, look at that.
She left a lasting impression.
Oh,
Apparently.
she did.
Did she?
Yeah, I mean, this was just a bikini bar kind of a thing too, or whatever. But we'd go there in college.
Cinnamon's such a cute name,
Isn't it?
Okay.
You know, every time somebody hears my name is Roxy, it's one of two things: either my dog's named Roxy, or that's a prostitute name. Sorry, sex worker name.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you don't.
Do you know what I also found out? Speaking of problematic, do you know like I didn't realize how many articles have been written that Pretty Woman is problematic?
What's the problematic part?
Oh God, it's
Well, you
know,
brought it up. And
I
then you
know.
were
Yeah,
like,
not
and I asked you, you said, "Oh God."
No, it's just like there's a lot of it. It's just like one of the main things.
I haven't seen it in a while, so I have to.
that it assumes that all prostitutes want to be saved. That it glorifies prostitution at one point. That she needs a man to save her in order to get off the
That
streets.
they all look like her.
I remember
Right.
loving that movie.
It's fantastic. It's one of the best romantic comedies of all time. Still, anyway, let's talk about one of the greatest science fiction movies of all time. I'll say it.
I don't want to talk to you.
You got it.
I don't want to talk to you.
Well, then you're on my show. That's what you got to do.
I'm so bitter.
No, that's not my fault. I would have invited you.
And when am I going to see this?
That's what I was going to ask you on the air. Is that I want to see? Do you want? I mean, I don't think I'll be able to see it.
Entitled and bitter.
I know. I won't be able to see it on Friday, but I will be able.
See.
I will be able to see it with you next week if you want.
Next week.
Yeah. Are you going to go see it this weekend?
Maybe Sunday.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, but if I don't.
If you don't, then maybe we can go. You want to? If you see it in time, maybe we can all go.
Yeah.
And see it together. 3 of us.
What, you still didn't do the first one?
No. You did not.
We have not been watching anything. which is weird. Like we've been doing a lot of what they call the sexy librarian.
Oh, what's that mean?
Where my wife reads books in bed and I fall asleep. I stole that from a meme.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Well.
Yeah, she's been reading a lot.
She reads to you?
No, she just reads.
Like Rocky and Adrian.
I would go, "Are you done reading?" And then I fall asleep waiting for her to finish her book. And,
she never does.
Yeah, it's
so she does it now.
She's
she reads
really like stressed out at work, and then I don't like to watch stuff without her because that's kind of the only that's the thing we do. So we either watch something or we don't.
Well, you got to watch it soon because we're gonna go see it. So your wife's got to step up.
We're trying to get the kids to watch it with us.
Okay. Well, look. We're not going to put up with this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you got to go see it because we're probably going to see part 2 next week.
I can't put up with your shit anymore.
Yeah. I know.
Your stressed out wife who doesn't want to prioritize watching Dune.
Yeah, I know.
Over whatever the hell she thinks is so important.
She's so...
Over her job and her children. I mean, come on, get your
bullshit.
priorities
Hey,
right.
did you guys know I'm turning 50 on Sunday?
Is it this Sunday? You're not doing a big thing for it?
Yeah.
Then we'd find out about it now.
It's 50. I know
50.
your
I didn't
know that
birthday,
either.
and I know your birthday not because I just know Kate's birthday. I just know your birthday, but I didn't know it was 50.
Yeah.
What day is that?
That's a Sunday. It's a shitty birthday.
So you're not going to do anything? No. Well, that's stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. I tell you this much. I will say that I'm probably the happiest in life that I have been in a long time. I feel like I've dialed in whatever medication I have. I've done with therapy and things like that. I am having a big thing is the big thing for me is that I'm feeling really good about life lately.
I love that. I think that's it's mature.
Why do you think
it's bullshit?
Because of therapy and
I think therapy and medication. Which is not as I was on some pretty heavy duty stuff that like just numbed me out kind of, and this is lighter, and I'm not taking anti-anxiety type stuff anymore like Xanax, which would just like
What do you want for 50?
For 50, I'm
PlayStation.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just happy that my kids are doing well in school. I love my life, and I love my wife, and I love my family, and I don't know. I'm just been feeling really up.
More of the same. You just want it.
I don't.
You don't want it to change.
And I'm enjoying the job at Above Board TV.
Didn't mention this show once, did he, Rob?
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Nope.
Well, I mean, I get to do this occasionally.
Yeah.
No, I do enjoy this show. I wish I could do a little bit more like we had planned.
Yeah.
So that's why we're talking about doing earlier things and stuff like that. But like,
well, when we first look, things are it's the same carrying over what Brett just said. Things are definitely better now than they were. Like people know about that whole the cast debacle that we were one of the shows.
What are you guys talking about?
You don't remember Cast? Remember that company Cast?
I thought you were saying with an S.
No, Cast. That whole it set us back tremendously, But
I know I was supposed to be here 2 days a week too. I feel you. Brett.
I know, but we've picked it up. So hopefully things are, and that's another reason why I'm starting this channel. I'm good. Yeah.
Can we talk about it?
Let's talk about Dune first.
yeah.
Let's talk about Dune first, and then we'll talk about the channel.
Okay, I want to go back to Brett's 50th. I want to talk about this, and I don't want to talk about Dune.
Tough. The whole point is people are going to be clicking
I know.
on
I'm just
this.
so excited. I hear it's the best movie of all time. So.
And that's that's kind of that's my question is that because you're hearing it from everybody, right?
So I'm nervous now. It's every person.
And you're
I
seeing
talk
it
to.
around too. Are you seeing more news about Dune?
Oh yeah. Everybody loves it, and
It not just loves it. It's saying it's like the greatest science fiction movie. I saw Coy say that this is his Star Wars. Like he wanted to feel about Star Wars like he did about this. I mean, everybody's saying that the 98% it has on Rotten Tomatoes is deserved. Like the hype
I
around
don't think
this.
I disagree with that. I think it's 100 should be deserved.
wow.
Yeah, like every person is like, you can't overrate this movie.
No.
So I mean, it couldn't have higher expectations.
Right. So the first one overall worldwide during the pandemic, and with a day in release, right, meaning that it came out at Max the same time it came out in the theater, did something like 435 or 440 million worldwide, right, which is decent for that time.
Isn't this already 150 million tracking for like the
That's
first?
what they think. They think 150 worldwide for the weekend, right? So like 150, 160. So 80 for the weekend is a pretty damn good number. Like Roka thought it was like 120, 130. So that's tough to do. But the question is, can this movie hit $1 billion? I still, and I've never, every time I say this, I never want to be more wrong than I am right now. I just think a 3-hour dense science fiction movie is going to be hard to make $1 billion. I think it makes like 650, maybe 7, which is a great
I was
number.
definitely thinking that the time, because of that wouldn't span such a large audience. I do believe that yeah, you're correct in that. This doesn't seem like it's people are bringing their little ones to it and everybody's going to it.
$1 billion. Look,
it's a lot of money.
Avatar made it. Avatar's a long movie. Avatar is got some heavy themes to it. The second one, right?
Yeah.
Made $1 billion, but it's
Does it have some like heavy themes? I would say it's a pretty light watch.
Avatar 2? I don't want to spoil it,
I
but
saw it.
there's some like I'm not going to air this. I'm not going to air this because I don't want to spoil it. Did you not see Avatar 2 yet? You did.
Yeah.
Like being a parent, like when they lose their kid, like that's fucking brutal.
Oh, I just mean it's not difficult to understand. Like, it's not sci-fi. Yeah.
Yeah. More so with like heavy themes than not like just being hard to understand. I mean, you definitely have to pay attention more in Dune than you do.
But it's not like Tenet where you're wait, hold on.
Wait, what? No. Avatar, no. But Dune 2 is for sure. And I think that I have seen people, even Denis Villeneuve said, you don't need to see the first one to see the second one. I don't necessarily think that's true. I think it elevates. I think the second one.
How could that be possible?
Yeah, right?
I don't think you necessarily would be lost watching it, but you definitely be like, well, who's that?
Do we pick up where we leave off?
Right where we left off. So it's like, I know, but it's I don't necessarily agree with it. But the question is, can it make $1 billion? Roxy, what say you?
I honestly feel like yes, because of the conversation around it. Like if you would ask me that 6 weeks ago or a month ago, whenever before I heard anybody see it, I would have said no. Why would this make $1 billion? Everybody's asking that question about every movie, but everybody's saying this is the greatest movie ever.
3 hours though? Dense movies, science fiction.
Okay, but the 3 hours is not deterring me because I've seen are you looking at the releases in the movie theaters? I mean, they're playing this in every theater 15 times a day.
But for how long? Because that's my other point is competition.
What's up?
A lot of competition. You've got the stupidest thing I've seen is it's another Warner Brothers movie that's going to cannibalize it at the end of the month, and that's Kong and Godzilla. Now
that is 1 month away?
That is the end of the month. The 20-something, where this is March 1st. So it's
3 weeks?
Right, but it also, then you've got Kung Fu Panda, which is next week, which is not the same audience, different audience.
Is that 4?
That's Kung Fu Panda 4.
Jesus.
God, I've never seen a Kung Fu Panda.
The first one was on heavy rotation when my kids were little bit. Yeah. I don't think I ever saw the second or third.
Okay, well, I mean,
What is it? Jack Black?
Jack Black. Angelina Jolie was in a lot of them. I don't know. But there's a lot of different people.
Is he a panda who does Kung Fu?
Yes.
Yeah, he was the
you
panda.
actually, you like it. You would think it's cute. But then movie you didn't like, but a lot of people did, and it got a sequel, was the new Ghostbusters movie is also coming out that comes out in like 2 weeks. So you got Ghostbusters, you got Kung Fu Panda, you got Godzilla, you got some horror movie, Imaginary.
Is this the second of the new ones? Did I miss the first? Okay, so I wanted to see that first.
You should see it. I watched it with my wife and my oldest.
Talking about Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Afterlife. I watched Ghostbusters Afterlife with my oldest and my wife, and they loved it, and I loved it too. I remember walking to the theater with you, and you were shocked how much I liked it. I thought it was that little girl was so good, and it had the perfect tone of what I wanted, and it introduced the kids perfectly to now. When you have more of the older Ghostbusters. Yeah. So I think the point is that that's a movie that's going to do pretty well. Kong and Godzilla is going to do pretty well. Kung Fu Panda. So they're gonna pick away at Dune. So Dune next week, I think is the only one that's like this horror movie and then that Mark Wahlberg movie.
This could be really silly commentary because I know that it doesn't have historical truth to it, but the weather is crappy out, and people go and see movies when the weather is crappy. It's been crappy here. It's been crappy back east, and this is one of the only things to do. To me, this is the time of year. Like, I know that summer is fun and people go to the movies, but when it is crap out on the East Coast, snowing, raining, whatever, the only things you can do is go to the movies.
The only counter that I don't disagree with you, but the counter that I would have to that is that sometimes people, especially in the East Coast,
don't even want to leave their house
because of the weather.
Yeah, I know.
Depending on what the weather is.
Soup.
Yeah,
I know, and that's why the kids' movies do well during that time because like you'll leave for your kids, but for yourself you won't.
It's one of those.
It could hurt it. I just think I don't know a person who this isn't on their radar now because y'all just don't shut up about how great it is.
I mean, I think it's going to do way better than the first one, which we did 445, and I think that it is going to make at least. I'd say I'm going to stick with. I'll say 700.
I don't think it's going to make $1 billion.
You think it could?
I think it could.
I hope it does. I hope this movie makes $2 billion. This movie deserves to make all of the money. If it made $2 billion,
would you be shocked?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course I would. I'll be shocked if it makes $1 billion. I'll be happily shocked if it makes $1 billion. Like I said, I think that Deadpool has way more of a shot to make $1 billion.
Really?
Than this movie does. Yeah, because it has a lot more going for it as far as now whether it's going to be better. I don't know. I don't know if anything's going to be better than this movie.
Might I dislike it?
What's that?
Might I dislike it?
This movie?
Yeah.
Did you love the first one?
Yes.
Then no.
Okay.
No. There's no way. If you loved the first one.
And okay, so what about somebody who didn't love the first one?
What's funny about that is I saw it with Snyder, right? And Snyder did not like the first one. He really liked the second one.
Okay.
I think the way that I look at it is if you don't like the first one, you think the common question, the common thing I hear from most people who didn't like it was they said it was boring, which, okay. They said slow.
The first one or the second one?
The first one is that they said it was slow. The way that I would tell is like this one is definitely not slow. There's moments where it's kind of dialogue heavy but there's some major moments. And the other thing that you could make an argument that I say I understand that the first Dune just ends. It doesn't end with like a big thing. It just ends. And it ends with a clear. This is part one.
Yeah, I'm a diehard TV fan though, so that never
bothered you, right? So it didn't bother me either. And it also is for me to say, this is not, and we talked about this last week, this is really not like a sequel as much of it is a part two, meaning that it's like it's just or rather, should I say, it's not a sequel as much as it's a second half. It's a second half of a movie.
Is there anything that you think was a problem with this movie?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I've been listening to the freaking score on repeat as right before you guys came in. I was listening to the score.
Any scene that you didn't like? Any actor that you thought wasn't up to par? Any visuals that you were like they botched? No, so just across the board, straight 10s.
It's the first 5 out of 5 movie I've given, and I can't even tell you how long. It's.
If I don't like this movie, I'm gonna flip a table.
You're gonna lose your mind. There's no way you're not gonna like. If you love especially if you love the first movie. Now there was someone. So on our Patreon, we do the one-on-one sessions where I have like half an hour sessions, and I had a great conversation with this guy the other day, and he's a big Dune fan, book-wise. He loved the books. Said he didn't love part one. He thought that two. He did the book. He didn't capture what he was looking for in the book, but is going to see the movie because he's a big film nut. Loves going to loves Denis. And is going to go check it out. I'm so curious, like his thoughts on it, because it's someone who read the books and someone who's kind of comparing it. But then you look at Riley. Riley is also a guy who read the book and loved it. Oh, the other thing, I keep saying the wrong book name for the next movie. Last time I said Dune Legacy, then I said Dune Prophecy. It's Dune Messiah. I don't know why I came up with all these different names. People keep telling me. Someone's like, I almost was going to goof because someone's like, are you pranking us? Yeah. And I almost was going to say something like Dune Kingdom for the next one.
Because we can't correct you.
No, the next movie is
Dune of the Planet of the Apes.
You know where I've just nonstop been seeing this? Because it's like usually I'm hearing it from my critic friends, from Snyder, from Coy, from you, from whoever. I mean, they must have invited 100 TikTokers to this.
I saw that interview was embarrassing.
That interview was tough.
So did you see this?
No.
There was like
it happens though. I feel so bad because it does happen.
It does, but what happened? The problem is this. It's funny because I had this whole conversation with Snyder and Simon Thompson actually at the Dune screening, and they were just talking about because they're like Snyder's a film reporter. Simon's an actual critic and a news. He's a reporter as well, and these are like guys. These are like movie media guys. Yeah. I'm not. I'm not.
What are you?
I think I'm just someone who talks about movies. I've never as long as you know me, have I ever considered myself a critic?
Then why can you get the invitation to these?
Because there's a difference. Because I also am because I still present my conversations in a way that where I'm critiquing a movie and I'm seeing because people are still watching the reviews, and I think that shows a lot of.
Me too. I get so many. No, seriously, on TikTok.
On TikTok, okay. So when I was talking to Simon and Jeff, and when you basically know what happened with these influencers, this interview that happened, the guy asked this question to Timothée Chalamet and Austin Butler about, so when you guys are acting, because you guys have to be, because you seem like friends or whatever. I'm misquoting it, but it's something along the lines of, you seem like friends, but then you got to play like you're not. Like, how do you do that? Mm-hmm. And it's like, fucking actors, right?
Mm-hmm. I thought Timothy gave a really gracious answer.
I think he was pissed off, though. He looked annoyed.
But he answered so many times I've seen actors just refuse to answer or be like, that was not a good question. He really did try. He said like, it's part of the he did look annoyed, but I thought he did an excellent job pushing through.
And what it is that it's not that I don't think that if you've got an audience and the studio wants to invite you and they want to bring you to these things and they think they're just going to get exposure for your movie, fine. I get it. It's marketing. The problem is that a lot of good journalists and interviewers get left out because of it, and because they don't have the audience that would have better conversations and better. I think the junket interview should go the way of the dodo, to be honest with you. I think it's 3 minutes. You can't get anything out of people. I would much rather.
Better than a carpet.
It's much better than a carpet. But I think that like, and call it selfish because it is. I still think long-form interviews and half an hour to an hour conversations, you get way more out of people. They get more comfortable with people. Not everybody can do it, but it's one of those. I don't even try anymore. I used to write to the studios all the time and ask, like, hey, I'm not getting approved for these things. Mm-hmm. I don't even try.
Junkets?
I don't. I'm not going to do junkets. I can't.
No, that's what you're saying?
No, I'm talking about trying to get people in for interviews. Oh. Right? Like, because I've gotten, like, when I had. I was very proud of the interview I had with Diego Luna. I was very proud of the interview that I had with Andrea Riseborough. And you
haven't been able to get people since?
I haven't really been trying as much because when I try to get like the bigger names, I know I'm going to get turned down. I know that if I was a TikToker that had 1.5 million, I'd probably get them in here easier.
It is frustrating.
Yeah.
It's frustrating because also I don't want to sound like an old grouch. And I'm on TikTok and I have some friends who are stellar hosts that are on TikTok. Mm-hmm. But then there's some people that they're really good at 15-second content.
Right.
And that is...
But this thing drives me nuts too, by the way. The holding up the little microphone to interview people. Like the whole...
That's attached to your shirt, you mean?
Yeah. The shirt or like the little... Like when it's like these wires. Hey guys, I'm here now.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to interview so-and-so.
I think that's so cute.
I can't stand those little microphones.
I love them. They're so cute.
I hate them.
I have one of those. It's awesome.
It drives me nuts.
It was gifted to me by
Oh, no.
Instagram.
He's not talking about the tiny microphone you use.
Oh, what are you
He's talking about when you use, like, you've got the headset in and you lift up
I'm talking about all of it. It just looks awkward.
It's the Rode mic that has
Yeah, but I just see people doing like TikTok videos. I mean all of it.
Yeah.
I mean that and that. I just like it when it's just like these little... When you're, I mean, sometimes it's all you got. That's what you got to do. But I don't know.
I got a tiny
I think
pink
more
microphone.
so, but I think it bothers me less when you're by yourself. Mm-hmm. I think it bothers me less. But when you're interviewing a celebrity or you're interviewing someone on the movie and you got this little thing and they're talking into this little thing, I think it looks unprofessional. That's me.
Yeah, I mean, times just are changing.
Yeah.
the way
could be the grouchy grandfather. It
used to be if you brought a cell phone to a carpet, that was so unprofessional to film on your cell phone.
Right.
And now
everybody does. Right.
Yeah.
Well, because of the TikTok generation. It's because of all that stuff.
And because the camera quality and those tiny mics now, like
it's true.
You don't have as much of an issue with the audio quality. You just think it looks weird. And it's like, if you can carry this little mic as opposed to, I know.
But you know what's funny about that also is that clip that has like 1 million views or whatever it does now, that poor guy, I do feel bad for him though. He's just because what I read about him too, he has no business being an interviewer. Mm-hmm. He's on some show or something and he got put in there. He doesn't know how to do it. And he didn't
ask something that was mean.
No, he didn't.
He didn't try to do gotcha news.
No, but it seemed like a wasted spot. I'm like, that's what you're asking? And it's like, it seems like if you were talking to your friend at home and you're like, oh, you can go interview whoever you want. It's like somebody who doesn't pay attention to the industry or whatever. And like, you can ask them whatever you want. Like, I don't really know much about acting. Like, how do you pretend that like you guys are like not friends?
It's a Farley interviewing.
Like a Farley thing.
Remember when you were in the Beatles?
Right,
that
right.
Was cool.
That's what it feels like. And
Yeah,
it's like,
I did.
and so, but that's whose fault is that? Is that his fault?
No.
Or is that the studio's fault?
Or is it society's fault because it has a million views?
Yeah.
Well, but we don't know if that's his
We
normal,
love a dumpster fire.
but we don't know if that's his normal content. He's not posting those types of things. And
But don't you think the studio's stoked?
I think the studio, that was my next point. The studio got a lot of publicity for that interview. And people know, what interview was that for? Dune. What interview? Dune 2. Oh, yeah, right. That movie's coming out. And then the conversation goes away from the guy who had the crappy interview to talking about, it was for Dune.
Yeah.
So they win. So the studio wins on that one. So that's maybe that the answer is at the end of it,
Love is win.
Yeah, they go,
Love-
right.
Love has won.
Love has won.
And they go, aha.
Cult of Mother God.
Right. All right, I'll give you a Cult of Mother God. You want to go and get some Blue Chew, followed up by Tushy. Tushy's back, Brett.
Oh, nice.
Tushy.
Tisha LaRue.
Tusha LaRusk and Blue Chew. I'll tell you about both of them right now. This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Come on, let's do it. Let's talk about sex. Hey, guys, remember the days when you were always ready to go? Everybody, you're like, yeah, back in the day, I could go whenever I wanted to. Well, now you can increase your performance. You can get that extra confidence in bed. Listen up, BlueChew.com. Blue Chew's no joke. It's pretty great. It's a unique online service, and it delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in chewable tablets at a fraction of the cost. You can take them whenever, daytime, night. You can plan ahead, be ready whenever that opportunity arises. And the process is super simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you are approved, then you receive your prescription within days. And the best part? All online. No visit to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. So, for me, yes, it works. And the thing is, you know, I didn't think I needed it, but hey, you try it for a month and you see, you love it. You could be missing out on the best sex of your life. I'm telling you. They always say first impressions are important. What about lasting impressions? Do it. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. They do. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. Chew it and do it. Love that. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. You got to try Blue Chew free, but you got to use that promo code BIGTHING at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com. Promo code BIGTHING to receive your first month free. Yeah, do you hear that? Free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we got to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. As we get older, I'll tell you, the bidets. Oh, I love the bidets. I wish I got introduced to the bidet a long time ago with Tushy, and it is so what an invention. What an invention. At first you sit down and you want to feel classy. You want to show some class. You show some class by getting the bidet on your. I'm not gonna say it. I could have rhymed, but I didn't. It's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. So let me tell you a little bit about it, because the next time you're sitting down on the toilet to squeeze out a big baseball bat, I'll tell you what happens. Hello Tushy wants you to remember one thing. The time that you're spending scrolling on your phone, it's not giving you peace of mind. You know what it's giving you? Hemorrhoids. That's right. Men spend twice as long in the bathroom. This is fact. I go into that bathroom sometimes for peace, but I wind up sitting trying to get some business done. And it is the one leading cause of hemorrhoids is prolonged sitting on the toilet. That's right. If you wipe with toilet paper, it's only going to irritate your butthole. That's what it's going to do. The Tushy, it cleans your butt with a targeted stream of fresh water, eliminating the need for painful wiping. So I really, really dig it. And it just feels nice. Again, I feel classy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel classy. That's the whole thing. So Tushy Bidet cleans your butt 2 times better and gentler than wiping with toilet paper. For the rest of your life, you can leave the bathroom sooner feeling confident that your butt's actually clean. The bidet easily attaches to your existing toilet. You know how long it takes? Under 10 minutes. 10 minutes. I was going to say 20. It's not true. It took me about 8 minutes without additional plumbing or electricity needed. Every Hello Tushy bidet comes with a 30-day hassle-free return and a 12-month warranty. So stop wiping until you bleed. Come on. Join the 3 million butts who've already made the switch to Tushy. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off your entire order when you use the code BIGTHING at checkout. That's 10% off your order at HELLOTUSHY.com, HelloTushy.com, promo code BIGTHING. Very excited to have both Tushy and Blue Chew back. I got someone who wrote me and said yesterday, they said, I got that bidet. I got it. I went and got the Tushy thing. It'll change your life. And so will Blue Chew. Once you start getting phone calls back from your dates, I'll hook you up with some.
Yeah.
The Blue Chew or the Tushy? You need both.
Both, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so you wanted to ask what? You want to do your TV first? Or you want to talk about anything else?
Well, there was two things.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Starting with Yup.
Oh yeah. Well, that's going to be UAP news. We're going to do daily kind of news, 5 to maybe 10 minutes, but maybe with like 5-10 minutes, like updates on the channel.
Who?
Me.
Just by yourself?
Yeah, it's just like kind of like it's not like a full-on show. It's just going to be like, because the UAP Tuesday show stay in on the channel. It stays here.
Stays here.
Yeah,
so
stays
that
here.
other thing is just
just daily content to
like this
update.
or like this or what?
No, it'll probably be like this with some clips and stuff over it. If there's some like the top news story of the day.
I'm jealous.
Why are you jealous? Watch it.
I want to be part of it.
Oh, well, maybe if there's a story that you think that's pretty cool and you want to do something.
Yeah, like about fashion or shopping.
Oh, man.
Oh, boom.
Right.
I just want to be clear about something. If there is a poser in the room, it's not me. How long have I been invested in aliens and shit?
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Like, this is my childhood. This is my life.
Or on that show.
But.
I love shopping, too. And I'm allowed.
And you're allowed to. All right. So, yeah, so that launches probably sometime next week. I'll show you. Yeah, let me show you. I'll show you.
On Wednesdays,
Yeah.
we should record an update together.
If you want.
Yeah.
Why don't you want?
I want everything.
Tack that on right at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. Furthermore,
Yes.
going back to Brett for a second, and before we move to TV, not.
Oh, brother. Before I forget, I do have don't let me forget to show you a cool app for filming that's a lot better. It's by Black Magic Design, and it's like a full-fledged, like looks like a camera. No, I mean, it's like a free app, and it'll make your stuff look a lot better, and it's got, you can adjust, f-stop and all that.
Wow.
It's really nice.
All right,
yeah.
all right. Let's do it.
So thank you for the folks over at Black Magic.
It's not a sponsor. No. So do you want to ask your question?
Yes.
Go ahead, hurry
It's
up.
more of a statement, and I'm just going to spit it out, Brett.
right.
Not that you asked me, and not that you care. I think that you should do something for your birthday. It's 50.
Yeah.
And you should be celebrated. It's a big deal.
Big deals cost money, though.
No, but it doesn't have to. Like, just do ice cream with your friends. Like, grab a beer. Like.
I asked.
You don't have to pay for it. Everybody would pay to come. Like, even if it's like 10 people. Like, I don't know what Kristian's doing Sunday night, but he's your lifelong friend. He can sack up and show up for you.
Yeah.
Am I right, Kristian? Be real for a sec.
I asked Kate's husband to throw me a big party.
Did you?
No, I told Kate to ask him to, and she said, "Do you think Dickie threw that party?"
Right.
Yeah,
But don't you think, seriously, Kristian, wouldn't you?
I already said that. It's too late.
On Sunday?
Yeah, it's too far away. Or too close.
too close.
You wouldn't be able to grab a drink. His friends can't show up for a drink to celebrate his 50th.
If he's going to do it, yeah, sure, but he's not going to do it.
Just pick a bar.
I know him as well as anybody else. He's not doing shit.
Yeah, not on a Sunday.
Why?
He's 50 years old.
Yeah, because I got to get up the next day.
Then grab ice cream or do something in the daytime. Like, you don't have to do it at night. Just pick something. You don't want to not celebrate your 50th.
I'm going to pick. It's time for TV.
Yeah.
I'm serious, Brett. Think about it. I'd show up. Not that you'd ask me.
No,
but
I of course I would ask you. I see what you're saying, but I'm in a place where also like I was going to plan this big trip and all these things, and it's just there's a lot of things in my life that I need to put.
What about dinner with your family? Like nothing.
Oh, we're gonna hang out and we do our usual. My daughter has a little Polaroid camera, and we take a picture with that, and we'll have some ice cream, and maybe I'll be allowed to eat some ice cream.
Right. See, this is what happens to us. You didn't get the answer you want because you're too young. All right, here you go.
But I don't feel the need to. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Right.
I just don't feel the like. I'm happy with how things are, and I don't. It's not a
As long as you do something with your family.
Oh no,
or
I always do something with my family. But I told my wife not to make it a big deal, and it wasn't one of those things like I'm telling you to make it a big deal. Make it.
Right.
I said, don't worry about it. It's all good. I love everything.
Roxy doesn't like that. Okay.
No, I don't.
I know. But you know what I like? I like when you talk about TV.
Yes.
And that's what we're going to do right now. So it's TV time at Roxy Striar. Roxy, let's talk about Shogun.
Best shows to watch on your 50th birthday.
I can't talk about Shogun, Christian.
Oh, why not?
Because I was up watching Love Is Blind all night because it
that
drops
makes sense.
because it drops at midnight and I have to stay up watching the multiple episodes that drop. Shogun is the most talked about show right now. It did drop this week. I will have watched it obviously by next week.
People are saying Game of Thrones.
Yeah, they're saying it's amazing, and I've been hearing a lot of hype around it to the point where Grammy called me and asked me, "What about this Shogun?" I was like, "What?"
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
Why does it have so much hype around it? Was it another series? Was it animated? Was it a book,
I don't know, but it's on Hulu and
tell you.
FX, and it so from what people are telling me that it's Steph was talking about it yesterday.
It's out already.
It's 2 episodes are out right now, and just apparently it's incredible. It's incredible. There's a
billboard by my place. Of it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be amazing. I don't know
was
as
based
much
on
about why the hype. Yeah, it just set in Japan in year 1600.
Okay.
I'll be able to tell you guys more next week.
Okay.
It's a limited series.
I'll make you a deal. I'll watch it as well, so we can both talk about it.
Yeah, perfect.
Great.
I'll tell you this: the billboard is cool.
Yeah. Just like I asked you last week to watch Elimination Chamber. You told me you would, and
I didn't
you
say
had
I
that.
would.
You did.
No, I said maybe. Okay,
No,
maybe.
you said you would. You said
I
yes.
did
I
not.
would. That's on
I said
tape.
yes, I will.
Yeah, that's on tape.
Somebody pull it up because
I
I
don't
don't
know if I can
remember
back you
saying
up on
yes,
that
I
one.
will.
It's on tape.
Yeah. Okay, so show me.
We will.
There's the receipts.
I don't remember saying yes, I
you're-
will.
So you're a liar. Go
I
ahead.
think I said okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What's next? Ready? Next one.
I am 6 episodes into Avatar: The Last Airbender right now. There's 8 episodes. This is the
So
live action.
Curious to what you're gonna say because I got Steph's thoughts on this yesterday, and she's a big Avatar: Last Bender fan of the animated series.
Yeah, so she had me watch the Avatar animated pilot. So I watched that first episode. We did that with the World Girls, and then I jumped into this. It's fine.
Yeah. She liked it a lot.
I saw Ace, who is the biggest Avatar fan I know. I know from TV fights he would come fight for every
yeah.
single thing. Did not like it.
Wow.
And I know that Steph does. So it seems like there's mixed reviews amongst Avatar fans. As somebody who is watching this as a 32-year-old woman, it was a Nickelodeon adaptation.
Is it aimed at kids?
So for sure, when I'm watching it, some of the dialogue is like, okay. Also, additionally, there is a lot of child actors in this, and that is very.
It makes it hard for you to masturbate. This is why you shouldn't celebrate my birthday.
I'm like not sure where to go from there.
Yeah.
So you liked it?
It's not a bad show.
Right.
The show's fine. I'm gonna finish it. I think it's mid.
Okay. All right. What's next?
Egg?
I actually watched the first episode of this.
Oh, expats.
Yeah.
Okay, so expats. What
Yeah.
did you think of the first episode?
I liked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good.
I liked
I'm
it.
liking the show. It's Nicole Kidman. It's a bunch of expats.
Yeah,
And I like the way that they did the first episode. The premise, like the way that we're kind of flipping perspectives. You know, think about the people who have tragedy happen to them, but you don't think about the people who.
Yeah, and the way that's
inflict
set
that
up.
tragedy. Yeah.
Does she ever play happy people anymore, though?
I don't
I
know.
feel like she's miserable, and her characters are miserable in every.
Who's this?
Nicole Kidman.
Oh,
Most of
yeah.
her characters are miserable, but she's
Yeah.
great in it. It's
Yeah, she's really
Or
good.
dead and not know they're dead.
Is that which one was that? Oh, that was that. What was that movie?
The others?
Right.
Oh, I love that movie.
Right.
Boom.
I thought Jack Houston was Huston that he was good in it. There's a lot of people.
What is it? Explain it to me because I don't get what. So, and I'm sure the people at home that don't. What is expats, expatriate fans or expatriates, people that storm the Capitol?
Americans that aren't living in America anymore. They're where are they based? They're in
I
Japan.
thought it was Hong Kong.
Oh, Hong Kong. Yeah. They're in Hong Kong.
Oh, I thought it had something to do with the football team. That's why.
Yeah.
No, the dynasty's so good right now, though. Oh my
But that's
God.
not what we're talking about. We're talking about expats. How many episodes are there right now?
I have seen 3, but there are
'cause there's
more.
because there's only one that I saw.
No, there's even more. You only watch one?
Yeah, I only watched one.
Let's see. Expats episodes. Currently, everything takes time, guys, and you
Right.
just have to
Don't
let
worry
it
about
take
that.
time. I am worried about
Well,
it.
you got to go soon, so come on.
All right, well, expats. I don't know how many episodes. I would have told you if you gave me 15 more seconds.
Well, I didn't do it. It doesn't matter. There's a few more episodes, but who cares? All right, next.
This segment's going very well, I would say.
Did it to get derailed by the masturbation? I apologize. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Next one.
I put Masters of the Air on the list every week because this is the best show on TV right now.
Really?
Yeah, by far.
Wow.
So beautifully shot. This past week, it's like my stomach is in my throat. I just don't know what's going to happen here, and now we're really we've gone into prisoner of war territory,
Gotta watch
and
this
it's
Oh, this is the World War II
Yeah.
one about the
Awesome
pilots
Butler,
and
yeah.
all that.
so good.
Okay.
So good.
All right. Moving on. Last one, and you just mentioned it before.
Yeah, because I stayed up all night watching Love is Blind because
Everybody
every
loves this.
Wednesday they drop new episodes, and I wait until midnight to watch them and do not go to bed till I finish every second of however many they dropped because this show is that addicting. I think that this season we might have some real winners.
Okay, and this is what about the people who race rabbits?
Blind rabbits.
Blind rabbits. Yeah.
What is this show? I don't know what
They
this show
fall
is.
in love through a wall,
Oh yeah.
and then they get engaged sight unseen.
And this is a guilty pleasure show, right? This is you're not like thinking they're going to find love, or do you feel that they will?
So this is season 6, and there are several couples that are still together,
Wow. Okay.
All right.
including
I mean,
one
the
from the first season.
concept does work for me. I mean, in terms of like you're learning to meet somebody and their personality before you see them, but I'm sure that the ones that stuck together were attractive.
To be 100% honest,
I'm sorry. Sometimes the things I say even affect me.
to be 100% honest, there's not.
Go ahead, Roxy. I'm sorry. That was horrible. Love is blind. Love truly is blind. I mean, look at me. My wife stuck with me.
Let me just say what I'm about to say and then move
Go
on
for
from
it.
there.
Yeah.
They only cast attractive people on the show.
Oh,
Pretty
bastards.
much. I mean, it would probably be more entertaining if when you look behind the curtain and there was somebody who was like a real whatever, but
Slob.
most people are like relatively attractive on the show.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the society we live in.
This is the last show we've ever done with this show. So thanks for being with us for as long as you have been.
I think people would watch if Roxy
Today
had
I was
a
harassed.
TV.
This was harassment.
She's storming
It's
out.
true. If you ever want to write that comment, today's the day to
Yeah.
do it.
I'm done.
Yeah, good. Is that the end of you?
Yup.
That's not true. Speaking of which, where can they find you if they can't find you here getting harassed?
Everywhere at Roxy Striar. Check out the world, girls. We're live every Wednesday night. We give everything a whirl.
And the number one member of the Kanye.
Oh, Jesus.
What do you got?
I'll be having ice cream with Roxy on Sunday, probably.
I would.
Yeah. I'll do something.
All right, Brett, where can they find you?
They can find me here, hopefully continuing, and they can find me on Above Board TV, YouTube. Still waiting for some of my stuff to drop that was shot.
Still,
but,
that's
there's a great bit with me with a tiny microphone. So
Oh, they're perfect. Well, good. I love those. All right. Thanks for joining us here today. Hit that button. Subscribe to the channel. Trying to get to 200 before we get to anything else. Before we get to anything else, we want to get to 200. Even before we get to 140, we want to get to 200. That makes sense. So hit the button. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. The link is in the comments for all of our wonderful sponsors and the new channel. So do all that stuff. All right. We'll see you later. Bye.